Hello everybody, it's me here, Mr. Truth. And in this video, I'm going to sort of discuss how Panthers quarterback Bryce Young single-handedly saved his NFL career from flaming out, basically. And everybody who has been watching my channel for quite some time now, which is, I'd imagine most of you, if not all of you watching this video here today on this channel, know that I made some super duper very critical videos of Bryce Young in the past of this channel. And once again, you can go and look it up. Look up Bryce Young, Mr. Truth on YouTube. I mean, the videos aren't locked away in Fort Knox. You can find them on my page. You can scroll down, and if you scroll down, scroll down long enough, you're going to find my videos sort of criticizing and hating on Panthers quarterback Bryce Young. Once again, this isn't something that they're hiding in Area 51 or any other military base in the fucking world. You can view it whenever you feel like viewing it, and if you feel like viewing it now, go ahead and give it a view. But regardless of that, man, I was very critical. I was very, very critical, and in my honest opinion, it was for very, very good reason. I know I called him every name under the sun, but you all know that's sort of my style, my brand of humor. I called him like a dwarf. I think I called him a scrub multiple times. I damn well know that. I called him a short scrub. And when I was watching him the first couple weeks of the season before he got benched for Andy Dalton, a couple weeks into the year, I was watching and looking at a quarterback who had no idea what he was doing. And I still believe some of the stuff, I said in that videos. I think he's very small, all right? He's diminutive. I'm not going to say he's a midget or dwarf. I guess just for this video, he's diminutive. He's small. He's 5'7", 5'6", maybe 5'8". We'll give him 5'8". We're being nice here. We'll give him 5'8" here in this video. He's 5'8" with a cream puff arm. And the first couple of weeks, you could tell he wasn't reading defense. He wasn't processing his footwork. His lack thereof. Footwork is what I really truly meant to say there, but I didn't say it for God knows whatever reason. His lack of any sort of footwork whatsoever, he was just taking steps to take steps for no reason. His footwork was all over the place. It was happy feet. It was completely erratic. When you have unpredictable, erratic footwork, it's going to lead to even shittier sort of throwing mechanics and horrific accuracy, and that's exactly what Bryce Young was. He was horrifically inaccurate, and he wasn't going through his reads, and the reads he was making, were very poor, and he was a check down artist and a check down machine. All he would do is throw the same dinky little throws to the running back and to the tight end over and over again, and you could just tell he had no idea what he was doing. And then he got benched for Andy Dalton, and he had like a 5-6 sort of mental reset where they worked on, clearly the Panthers coaching staff and Bryce himself, they worked on some stuff over that 5-6 weeks before he had to take over. I believe at Denver, where he didn't play that well against Denver, but he was very, very much improved from the first 2 weeks of the season, where he looked like a junior varsity high school. You know what? I say that a lot, but honestly, Bryce Young in the first 2 weeks of last season looked like below a high school quarterback. He was a Pop fucking Warner midget quarterback with a cream puff fucking arm and no mobility. He wouldn't run. He wouldn't move. He just stood there in his pocket and just got sacked. All he would do is stand there and slightly or drift back a little bit within the pocket, or just stand there in the pocket and get hit. It's like he had a fetish for getting hit. He's like, those quarterbacks that are scared to take a big hit. Bryce Young was like, fuck yeah, please hit me. I want to be hit as hard as possible for my blind side, because I'm going to hold on this damn ball for God knows how long until I get hit immediately in my back so I can fumble or get sacked, and we got to punt the ball, and our offense absolutely sucks. And that was what Bryce Young was doing. He was holding on to the ball, wasn't reading defense. He was horrifically inaccurate with horrible mechanics and a cream puff arm. Then some sort of switch flipped, right? Guy totally flipped a switch. He looked more confident going through reads. He was actually going through reads. He was actually making decent reads. His accuracy was much improved, and his footwork was astronomically improved. He looked like a totally different quarterback. He did. He looked like an entirely different player from the quarterback I was seeing the first couple of weeks of the NFL season. He was totally different. He strung together multiple decent performances, and in the last, 2-3 games of the season, he actually looked like he belonged as a starting quarterback in the National Football League, which is how, by the way, referencing the title, that's how you save your NFL career, is you string together good performances and you give the fan base hope. You give the front office hope. You give the other players playing alongside you hope that you are going to turn the franchise around and be that, sort of star quarterback that your team needs. And that's what Bryce Young was looking like. He was looking like initially somebody who would flame out in another year or so. And then he turned it the hell on when it mattered the most. That's how you save your career, folks. Everything was improved. I mean, I could be listing different aspects of his game, and every single one of them improved, except for arm strength, obviously. You can't really improve that over the course of a couple of weeks unless you're going to Guatemala to get some supplements, and we all know what I'm referencing. He's on the fucking juice, and he wasn't, clearly, because he was still the same sort of small, diminutive. I almost called him a midget again. I had to hold my breath there. Sort of the same small, diminutive size he always was, which is 5'8", 130. I don't know. He's a small dude, that's all I'm trying to say. And once again, I can waffle on about what he improved on. And honestly, the first couple of weeks, he looked unathletic, like he ran a 5-second 40. And I don't know how listen, it actually looked like that. When he was selectively running, which was barely ever running, because he just didn't feel like it because he wanted to get hit. He had a fetish for being hit the first couple of weeks of the season. He looked so immobile, like a 5'8" statue quarterback with a horrific arm and no accuracy whatsoever. And that's not the type of quarterback you want to be playing on Sundays. Let's be honest, folks. If you're a team, if you have to trot that dude out there, you're not going to win. But if you're the other team, all you have to do is just show up on Sunday and you're going to win. And that's that, man. All they had to do was show up, and that's that. But he looked more mobile to me. He looked more athletic. He looked more comfortable. And that's really one of the more important things I'm going to talk about in this video, is how he looked way more comfortable in and out of structure. Not only was he, making plays from in the pocket, sometimes he would break contain, break free, break loose out the pocket, and make a play with his legs or make a play on the move. And once again, you compare that to the first couple weeks of the season, the first 2 weeks of the season, to start the year, correct? It's totally different. I mean, you could tell. You can turn on the tape for those first 2 games, then turn on the tape for like the Falcons or the Chiefs or the Eagles game, and you can clearly tell this is an entirely different quarterback who plays a different style. It's like he was playing scared. And I know there's a mental side of the game to this, because you could tell the rookie year broke him, and he was playing like a rookie. He was playing like a fucking Pop Warner scrub, and he was awful. He was one of the worst. The first 2 weeks, okay, the first year and the first, what would it be, 19 games of Bryce Young's career, he looked like one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. And once again, the videos that I made aren't locked away in some military base and you have to fucking goddamn bulldoze your way through with a car made of fucking titanium fucking steel multi-layer that is bulletproof and absolutely impenetrable by any explosive object known to mankind itself, including a fucking nuke. I called him a bust. I said he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest quarterback bust in the history of the NFL, because that's what he looked like. The first 19, 20 games of his career, he looked like he was worse than Jamarcus Russell. He was far worse than Jamarcus Russell, because Russell had infinitely more upside, was the same sort of level of accurate as Bryce Young, which was not, let's be honest. Jamarcus Russell was a fat slob who couldn't read a defense, and he had a crippling fucking goddamn codeine addiction, so that's why he was a scrub. He was addicted to drugs, and he just didn't give a fuck. He was lazy. And he had the whole blank DVD story where the fucking Raiders coaching staff, they gave him a blank CD and told him, okay, here's some plays, get back to us with some of the plays you want to run out of the CD. And it was a blank CD. He never watched the CD. And when he was questioned about what plays he liked from the CD, he was, oh yeah, I can run all of them. And you get the point. All right. I'm not saying, the thing is, Bryce Young has work ethic. It's clear. It's not like he's lazy, like he doesn't care. Because if he was lazy, didn't care, and he was in it for the money, like Jamarcus Russell was, he wouldn't be on a team right now. He wouldn't even be on a team. He wouldn't be employable. He wouldn't be rosterable by any team. But here we are talking about how he saved his NFL career. And once again, this is one of the sort of biggest comeback sort of stories in sports I've seen in quite a while. I mean, obviously you had guys like Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith who had epic later career resurgences, correct? But this one, to me, is even more astronomical. when it comes to odds of it happening. I thought for sure after like the second game of the season last year, this guy was going to be flaming out the league in a year. But, I mean, he's a starting quarterback for yet another year. He showed almost miraculous, almost impossible sort of improvement from his first season. And it seems like now he's more confident. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder now. And maybe this is going to end up being the best version of Bryce Young. Maybe the Panthers finally have found, their next franchise quarterback. Their last franchise guy was Cam Newton. And then you had sort of a rotating and revolving door of quarterbacks after Cam left. In 2020, you had really bad fucking scrub quarterbacks that just simply put could not get the job done. And they drafted Bryce Young in hopes to sort of break it and buck that trend, and it looks like maybe they're going in the right direction. I think the problem is the offensive line is great, right? They have one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. I think it's definitely a top 10 unit for sure. They're going to keep Bryce Young protected. That's what they were doing the whole season, right? Is they were blocking their asses off for the quarterback. So that offensive line, not a problem at all. That's at least, concern. The weapons are okay. They're not that great. The running backs are okay. They're not that great. And their defense is still not good. They have a trash shit defense. And I think Bryce Young is going to be on the field a lot. So we're going to see what he's going to do in this upcoming season. I have a bit of expectation for him. I think if he just performs decent, if he does like a game manager stuff, I would be impressed, honestly. Because with the sort of way their defense is and with sort of the lack of weapons, there's still guys that I think can contribute. Obviously, you got the guys like the Adam Thielen and Xavier Legette. I'm expecting him to have a pretty decent jump in his second year, and a couple of other decent players that are sort of flying under the radar, like a Jalen Coker, who I think will end up being a decent wide receiver in the league. And he's set up not the greatest, but it's not like the worst situation. It's not like he went to the Browns, where the Browns have a horrendous offensive line and no run game, no receivers, and a defense that is erratically inconsistent. It's not like he went to the Browns. The Panthers are, I think, right now in a way better state than the Browns because, first of all, the Panthers might actually have a franchise quarterback in Bryce Young, and they have multiple young pieces that they can say, okay, well, we have a bit of a future. The thing is, they have a future, right? The Panthers look like they are building something for the future. The Browns have nothing. They have Joe Flacco. They have whatever the fuck his name is, Kenny Pickett, little fucking hand scrub, can't read the defense. And you got Shadur Sanders, and you got Dylan Gabriel. So, I mean, you got nothing there. I mean, even if one of those guys, Sanders or Gabriel, would have panned out, you don't got anything else. So, not really look forward to it. But yeah, man, Bryce Young definitely turned it around, and he impressed me a lot with sort of what he was showing on the film, essentially. He was showing maturity. He was showing growth. I mean, you could tell. He was a different quarterback from week 1 to the last week of the season, and he progressed incredibly and rapidly. That wasn't even a whole year. That was just in a matter of weeks he progressed, which is crazy to me, how a quarterback can go from shit one week and the next they look amazing, right? But Bryce Young managed to do that. Bryce Young managed to sort of, he managed to prove me wrong, essentially. And listen, folks, I don't mind being proven wrong from time to time on this channel because it's going to make for more entertaining, great content, right? And if Bryce Young crashes, let's run a hypothetical situation here. If Bryce Young were to crash and burn this year, will I go back to calling him a dwarf, a midget? I'm probably not, to be honest with you. I'm just going to say, oh, it's a sad story, right? Because he was such a scrub, and then he was so good, and he was a scrub again. And that just really that would pain me. That would actually be hard to make that video because now I'm rooting for the guy. Now I want him to actually succeed. Now I want him to be a good quarterback. And there's a lot of quarterbacks I like, but let's be honest. There's got to be 15 quarterbacks. Not 15. There's got to be like 12, 11 quarterbacks that I think are just fucking garbage who have no place starting in the NFL, and they're starting right now for NFL teams. And Bryce Young's not one of them. I think Bryce Young is a starting quarterback, but I hope he performs well. I hope he succeeds because I rarely, if ever, make positive videos because those really don't, those don't perform too well in the algorithm. And I don't know how receptive my fans, you guys, are to videos like this. I hope you guys are because then I'll make more of them. Then it'll make me happy. It'll make you happy. It'll make other people happy. It'll make everybody under the fucking sun as happy as humanly possible. And So I do like to make, you know, critical videos, to make sometimes negative videos, because those videos do well. But I like making those types of videos. I like making positive videos, but I like making negative videos just a bit more. The hater in me, I guess, is more entertaining than me being positive about a player. So yeah, man, that's that. That's wraps for this video. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth, and this was nothing but the truth.